Local time. Northern Persian Gulf. The sea is flat and dark. Abraham Lincoln moves like a quiet city with its lights turned down. Inside the Combat Information Center, the radar picture is calm. Green sweeps glide across the screens, routine patrol patterns. Nothing unusual. Then one console flashes. Aero 513 local time. A signal spike on the SM scope. Not an aircraft, not a ship. A change in the electromagnetic weather. A new pulse pattern, sharp and deliberate. Someone ashore just switched from watching to hunting. The 6 stays quiet on purpose. Red lights, low voices, hands hovering over trackballs. The tactical action officer, the TOW, stands behind the consoles and looks at the fused picture on Link 16. Us Spruance holds station ahead of the carrier, an Arleigh Burke destroyer with Aegis watching the dark. Us Stockdale rides off the beam, another Burke, another Spy 1D radar that can turn the night into numbers. Us Mason sits farther out, picket duty, Ville cells stacked with choices. An MH-60R Seahawk is chained to the flight deck above, folded and ready for SAR. 2 F-35Cs orbit on the edge of the strike group's umbrella, low profile, high awareness. Normal operations. But normal is fragile. 0514 local time. The first warning does not come from a ship, it comes from space. A classified infrared satellite watches the Zagros Mountains and sees heat where rock should be cold. Generator exhaust. Tunnel mouths. Vehicles staged under camouflage netting. And one signature that changes everything. Fueling lines warming. Liquid propellant moving. Iran's mobile ballistic missiles are being brought to launch-ready positions inside hardened mountain tunnels. No one in sick cheers. No one panics. They simply understand what that means. If those tunnel doors open, the Gulf becomes a clock with seconds. Shipping lanes. Airfields. Allies. Warships. Everything becomes a potential target list. 0516 local time. The captain's voice comes over the circuit, calm, measured, final. Maintain MCON. Confirm the intel, keep it contained. Contained. That word matters. Because in this region, a single spark can turn into a fire that burns for years. 0517 local time. The TOW leans slightly forward. Update the threat board, raise readiness condition. Keep the picture clean, the SIC team moves like machinery. Not fast, precise. They start stacking layers without making noise. Aegis stays passive, but awake. Electronic warfare stations bring up libraries of known emitters. The Air Defense Commander reviews engagement zones and weapon status. A Link 16 chat room opens with the escorts. Short messages, no extra words, and far beyond the Persian Gulf, far beyond even the Indian Ocean, the real strike is already airborne. Reaper 01, a B-2 Spirit stealth bomber, a flying wing shaped to make radar energy slide away into empty sky. It launched from Whiteman Air Force Base, Missouri, and kept going. 30 hours in the air, 7,000 miles from home. This is not comfort, this is endurance. 2 pilots share every task in a cockpit built for focus, not luxury. Navigation, systems management, threat updates, refueling checklists, fatigue control. 30 hours is not a story, it is physiology. Hydration in measured sips, calories in small, controlled bites. Micro naps planned like refueling brackets, checklist discipline that does not bend. And the B-2 itself is a contradiction. A $2 billion aircraft whose greatest weapon is silence. Its low observable coating is normally maintained in climate-controlled hangars. It hates moisture, dust, improper handling. Yet tonight it has crossed oceans anyway. Because the mission cannot wait for convenience. 0520 local time. Over the Arabian Sea, a KC-46 Pegasus slides into position like an invisible bridge in the sky. Boom operator. Small corrections. Left. Up. Steady. Contact. Fuel flows. Quietly. Cleanly. The tanker chain is the real backbone of the operation. Without it, Reaper 01 becomes a timetable. With it, Reaper 01 becomes inevitability. 0522 local time. Back in the Gulf, the strike group begins to feel the edges of the enemy's confidence. Iranian coastal radar sites change modes, not searching wide, staring narrow. Electronic support measures catch the shift in pulse repetition frequency. A tech calls out the emitter ID. The TOW nods once. No drama, just confirmation. 0524 local time. A new report comes in through secure channels. Fordo, a nuclear facility buried deep inside a mountain, reinforced, redundant, designed to survive conventional strikes. Billions of dollars of centrifuges and infrastructure hidden behind layers of rock and concrete. Iran believes it is safe under the Zagros Mountains. They believe the mountain is armor. They believe their air defenses are a shield. But what they don't know is already above them. 0526 local time. Iran's S-300 PMU-2 batteries are active. Russian-made long-range surface-to-air missiles. A system valued in the hundreds of millions. A symbol as much as a weapon. Operators inside command trailers stare at their screens and wait for a blip that never appears. They see birds, weather, ground clutter. Nothing that earns fear. And that is their first mistake. Because stealth is not invisibility. It is denial. Denial of certainty. Denial of tracking. Denial of a firing solution. Some low-frequency radars might sense a whisper in the sky. But sensing is not tracking. Tracking is not targeting. Targeting is not killing. That difference is where the B-2 lives. 0529 local time. Reaper 01 crosses the Iranian coastline at 50,000 feet. No lights, no radio, no emissions, just a black wing in black air. Distance to Fordow, 312 nautical miles. 0531 local time. On us, Abraham Lincoln, the Navy's role is not to drop the weapon. It is to hold the theater steady while it happens. Electronic support. Air defense. Search and rescue. Containment. Because the moment the mountain is struck, Iran will look for something to hit back, and the carrier strike group will be the obvious target. Us Spruance adjust stations slightly for geometry. Us Mason opens internal circuits, ready to light off jammers if ordered. Us Stockdale tightens the air defense picture and confirms track quality on everything that moves. The F-35Cs on station silently refine their orbits, ready to intercept anything that climbs. No one says it out loud, but everyone is counting seconds. Distance to Fordo, 260 nautical miles. 0533 local time. Iranian command networks surge with traffic. Status checks ripple outward to sector operations centers. Battery commanders respond with confidence. No contacts, skies clear, nothing on scope. They mean it, they believe it. Their confidence becomes momentum. Tunnel doors begin cycling, hydraulics whining in the dark, launch rails moving, missiles rolling forward, fueling crews working fast, knowing the window is short. Distance to Fordo, 210 nautical miles. 0535 local time. Inside the B-2 cockpit, there is no celebration, no speeches, only short phrases and cross-checks. Fuel, time, track, confirm. The pilots are not thinking about politics, they are thinking about geometry. Because geometry keeps you alive. Distance to Fordo, 160 nautical miles. 0537 local time. The Persian Gulf stays quiet, but the air above it becomes layered. E-2D Hawkeye coverage is extended through relays and careful timing. Fighters maintain spacing. The strike group's network hums under the surface. Everything is ready to move fast if Iran chooses escalation. And Iran always believes escalation is strength. 0539 local time. A new flicker appears on Lincoln's ESM displays. Iranian jamming attempts. Wideband. Clumsy. Desperate. They're trying to blind sensors without even knowing what they're blinding. It doesn't work. But it reveals their fear. Then the electronic warfare station lights up. That matters, because it means Iran can feel pressure even when it can't see the source. 0541 local time. Distance to Fordo, 92 nautical miles. The TOW watches the countdown like a man watching a door close. The strike group stays on edge. Aegis remains ready to transition from passive to lethal in seconds. Suez mounts are manned. Vil's cells sit sealed but primed. And above Iran, Reaper 01's weapons bay doors remain closed. They stay closed until the last possible moment, because opening them changes the aircraft's signature, because discipline is stealth. 0543 local time. A secure message hits the operation chain. Operation Epic Fury is go. And alongside it, a one-time phrase used to lock the chain tight. F11. It is not explained. It doesn't need to be. It means the decision is sealed. It means no last-second bargaining. It means execution. Distance to Fordo, 65 nautical miles. 0545 local time. The B-2's payload is not a missile. It is a solution built for one problem. Deep rock, deep tunnels, deep confidence. Jibu 57AB massive ordnance penetrator. A bunker buster worth roughly 3.5 million per bomb. A 30,000-pound class weapon, about 20.5 feet long. Guided by GPS, designed to reach targets buried deep in hardened bunkers and tunnels. Publicly discussed penetration capability reaches into the range of roughly 200 feet before detonation, depending on material. 200 feet. That number matters. And Reaper 01 carries 2. Because there is another doctrine Iran never respects until it is too late. The double tap. First penetrator to crack. Second penetrator to finish. Distance to Fordo, 40 nautical miles. 0547 local time. In an S-300 command trailer, an Iranian officer squints at the scope and sees nothing that justifies alarm. He rubs his eyes. He tells himself the Americans would have to send fighters first, cruise missiles, noise, a warning. He tells himself the mountain is safe. He tells himself the shield is working. He tells himself the skies are clear. He is wrong. 0549 local time. US Abraham Lincoln attempts contact on monitored frequencies. Short, formal, professional, no response, silence, then static. The message isn't for Iran to answer. It is for the record. It is for legality. It is for discipline. And it changes nothing. 0551 local time. Distance to Fordo, 22 nautical miles. Inside the B-2, the pilots run the final cross-check, coordinates, wind, timing, fuse logic, release corridor, double tap confirmed, no hero lines, just math. Or 0552 local time. The weapons bay doors open. A brief shudder through the airframe, a change in airflow so small it's almost imagined. Release. The first mop drops into darkness. No flame, no contrail, just gravity made precise. Seconds later, the second follows the same path, same aim point, same cold intent. 0553 local time. From 50,000 feet, there is no fireworks show. No cinematic explosion in the sky, only impact. Steel hits rock. Rock fractures. The first penetrator burrows deep, cracking layers like glass under pressure, and detonates inside the earth. A muffled concussion that turns reinforced corridors into dust and pushes air through tunnels like a giant invisible fist. Then the second penetrator arrives, through the cracked path. Deeper, harder. It senses void. It delays. It detonates where rooms used to be. Inside the mountain, lights die, doors seize, fuel lines rupture, communications cut out mid-sentence. Missile crews lose the ability to act. A launch sequence that was seconds from beginning becomes nothing. 0555 local time. Iran's air defense screens still show clear sky, no track, no target, no time to react. Their shield was never challenged in a visible duel. It was bypassed, and that humiliation is sharper than damage. 0556 local time. On us Abraham Lincoln, there is no celebration, only readiness. Aegis stays hot. SM-6 remains in its VL cell, but it is awake. SM remains ready. Suez stays manned. Electronic warfare holds on a hair trigger to blind drones and confuse seekers. F-35Cs stay on station, ready to intercept anything that climbs out of Iran in anger. The MH-60R crew waits for a mayday that never arrives. Superiority isn't loud, it's calm. Or 0558 local time. Iran finally understands something happened, but not what. Seismic sensors near Fordo register a tremor. Guards outside the mountain feel the ground shift under their boots. Dust pours from ventilation shafts like the mountain is exhaling. A radio call breaks into panic. What hit us? Where did it come from? No one answers. Because no one can. 0601 local time. Reaper 01 is already outbound. Still silent. Still low observable. Still not detected in any way that matters. Distance to coastline, 110 nautical miles. The strike is not the hardest part. The hardest part is surviving the long flight home with nothing left to do except stay sharp. Fatigue kills quietly. So the pilots return to procedure like monks returning to prayer. Fuel checks. Navigation updates. Time to tanker. Hydration. Small bites of food that won't spike and crash. 0605 local time. A KC-46 appears at the planned point like a floating gas station in the sky. Boom down. Contact. Fuel flows. 30 hours becomes 32. Then 34. Because the world is large and the aircraft was built to make distance irrelevant. 0609 local time. In Tehran, voices fill rooms. Accusations. Denials. Anger aimed at radar crews. Radar crews swear the sky was empty. They are telling the truth. That's the nightmare of stealth. You can't argue with what you can't measure. So you argue with each other instead. 0614 local time. Iran's commanders look for something to strike back at. A base. A runway. A ship. And the most visible American power in the region is still there. In the Gulf. On the horizon, a Nimitz-class aircraft carrier with escorts, layered defenses, and discipline. A carrier is more than steel, it is an ecosystem of protection. Fighters, radar, electronic warfare, missile defense, rescue helicopters. Training that turns chaos into procedure. Iran understands that if they lash out blindly, they will lose what they have left, so they hesitate. Hesitation becomes retreat. 0619 local time. On us Abraham Lincoln, the Sikham returns to baseline. The Tau signs entries. The captain studies a horizon that looks unchanged. But the battlefield changed anyway. Because the real prize isn't rubble, it's data. Every Iranian mode change on the S-300 batteries. Every jammer pulse. Every frantic burst transmission. Every delay in their decision cycle. Time-stamped. Catalogued. Recorded. That intelligence will be studied for years, fed into updates, woven into mission planning, used to keep the next crisis from becoming a war. 0626 local time. Over open ocean, Reaper 01 keeps flying, a black wing over grey water. No escort, no spotlight, no audience. Distance to home, 6,000 nautical miles. Because in modern warfare, reach is deterrence, deterrence is mercy. And the cleanest victory is the missile that never launches, the ship that never burns, the sailors who go home without a name carved into steel. Deep inside the Zagros Mountains, Iran believed 200 feet of rock was a guarantee. Tonight, it was a liability. And somewhere beyond the horizon, American crews proved a simple reality. Nowhere on Earth is out of reach. Stay sharp. Keep your eyes on the horizon.